that one thing is investing. So, people want to find new ways of getting good investment, diversify their portfolio, and so on and so forth. And crypto projects, as well as crypto itself, but blockchain projects in general, are just, a new technology, an option, and they are much more accessible than what used to happen before we had Web3 or blockchain projects, right? It was just much more available only to venture capital firms and so on and so forth. So I think that's kind of natural, that no matter if it's a hype, or obviously when it's a hype, more people are willing to risk some greater money. And when it's the crypto winter, as we call it, then it becomes a little bit more challenging and people think twice or three times before they put money in. But at the end of the day, I think that the fact that we have this technology, and I feel like it kind of settles down now, and we are thinking about how do we build with it rather than how do we get rich with it, that's very natural. And I'm very happy to see that there's still this core group of people that understands that crypto is not FTX, decentralization is not some centralized exchanges. It all is, when done right, there's a huge potential, and we just need to do things right. I think we will look at this time in a few years as a very positive experience. It hurts, it's easy for me to say, oh yeah, it's nothing because I didn't lose any money. But it is, I know people who lost their life savings in and it's not just FTX, there are many of those projects. I think the thing that we are learning is that due diligence is still really important, and that you really have to think twice or thrice about where do you put the money. And I think that it's an interesting learning experience because we democratized investments, we democratized just engagement with projects. But with that comes the risk and the responsibility that is put upon every single person that gets into this space to do their due diligence. And VC offices usually have massive team that do it. So for us to do it mindfully is a challenging thing, and maybe that's something that we are also learning, and that's a very important part of it. I'm sure that we will see emergence of companies that do the due diligence for private investors or individuals. So there's a lot of positive things that can come out of everything that is happening. It's just, pains of growing. I guess there are two things that I'm very both excited and thinking a lot about. First one is I'm very excited to see, let's say, Web2 companies or more traditional companies getting more involved with Web3 and exploring it. And what I mean by that is when I joined ConsenSys a year ago, I was asked if we could create a Web3 contribution policy. So Joe had this big vision that every employee should become a contributor to Web3. So introduced a policy that says that every employee should spend 1 day a month or more if they want to, but at least 1 day a month, either learning or contributing to Web3 projects and DAOs and so on. From that, we then allocated time on people's calendar so that it's not like another thing that they have to do, but there is a time carved out. We called it the DAO days. They happen monthly, and we organized talks and some activities for people to get involved with Web3 if they don't know. So if I know what I'm doing, I can spend this time just contributing to a project, but if someone's completely new, we help them kind of start that journey. What is really exciting is that not only we managed to get the contribution level to about 45-46%, but also we now have companies externally that hear about it, Web2 companies. They are saying can you license it? We want DAO Day at our company. And how do we do it? How do we go about it? How do we introduce that kind of policy? So this is really exciting to me because that shows kind of the interest not only in investing, but actually investing human capital and understanding that you can't exist in this world and be successful in tech without at least understanding what Web3 is. And what a better way than learning by doing. Now, to go back to what worries me or what is on top of mind, it is mostly the decentralization or lack of thereof that we are experiencing. I think that what we are seeing in the DAO space, especially in the governance space, which my team is very heavily invested in right now, is that basically each protocol is controlled by a group of like 10, maybe 20 people that call each other behind the scenes and agree what deals or like how do they vote. So it's we call ourselves we create decentralized autonomous organizations, but they are neither decentralized nor autonomous. They are very much coordinated. It is better than, a board of directors because at least the decision making is transparent and we can track what happens. But we really need to get to a point where we have diversity of voices, maybe even understanding that means that single person can't be involved meaningfully in more than one or two DAOs. But delegation has been an incredible way of making sure that decisions are being made. But also, if you look at the major delegates and protocols, you see the same name on each protocol. That's not diversity, that's not decentralization. That we're really cool. You know what? I think that one of the great things about ConsenSys is that we make Infura, we make MetaMask. Diligence is a ConsenSys project. Truffle is a ConsenSys project. But actually, when you talk to people, many don't really know that. They know them by the brand of MetaMask or Infura. And I think that's okay, because we are there to empower developers and to bring Web3 bring greater adoption to Web3. And who is behind it? Well, hardworking people that are just doing their job right. So I think that we are very, very serious about Web3 to the point where it's engagement with Web3 is on our company OKRs. One of the KRs is to be more engaged with Web3. So it's really important to us. It's like we really, really believe in it. It's not a hype, it's something that will happen. And I think that's, at the end of the day, I hope more companies will be that way, because that's the only way that we can get proper mass adoption.